15 minutes ago, I got it.
Sean, you're doing double duty today.
I'm gonna call it.
Wow.
Oh, that's not coming here.
Do we know you? Is this a new one?
How's everybody doing? Okay, good, good.
What's there? The sergeants come all the time.
Yeah, we have to give them.
The sergeant came in, whatever.
Hey, Jim.
Red, how are you?
And how many years experience do you have, sir? Are you qualified? We have an amended agenda.
That's right.
Yeah. What's coming out?
Just they
We
did
added
this.
the next one.
You know, you need to, because we got some.
Shared services.
We do. It's very.
I finally took that file and put it in the file.
Yeah, who's
I'm
up
not
this
keeping
year?
that out anymore. It's this thick from all those other
We need consistency for another year. We can't just throw another guy in there because we want. I said, Dave, you got momentum going with that thing. You build relationships, you go to the meetings on Saturday, you meet other clubs. He says, well, I'm dictator, what's the difference? I mean, I'm sure everybody would like to change it. And bring it to the meeting and change it.
Do a vote there, we change it.
But we can,
Look, I've been on chairman for 4 now. I'm in my second or third time.
So, I mean,
You know, we have people, the same thing with the planning board, the same thing with council.
Pressure sounds, especially if they can say, that's just wrong. That's, you know.
Yeah.
No, he's learning. It's my fault. He's a big
But I
gangster.
like it.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Who cares?
Oh, I know. People talk.
That makes He's supposed to watch on food. Tell him all the time.
Yeah, there's ways that we can have it now. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, he needs one. There you go.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to the Mount Olive Township workshop meeting for June 25th, 2013. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and have a moment of silent reflection? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May all be seated. Ms. Lashway, would you please read the Open Public Meeting Act announcement?
According to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been given to the Daily Record. Notice has been posted in the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, and notices were sent to those requesting the same.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ferrante?
Here.
Mr. Nacastro?
Here.
Mr. Perkins?
Here.
Mr. Roman? Mr. Stazak?
Here.
Mr. Mania? Mrs. Laybow?
Here. Let the record reflect that Mr. Mania and Mr. Roman are at the Mount Olive High School senior graduation this evening, as well as Mayor Greenbaum is also in attendance at the graduation. And this time I'd like to say we, of course, congratulate all of our graduating seniors and wish them the best in all their endeavors in their future. And it's an exciting evening, and let's hope that the rain holds off and the gym isn't too hot for the graduation ceremonies. So without further ado, we have resolutions on for this evening. And I understand, Mr. Canning, you've added a new resolution. Do you want to discuss it at this point?
Yes, Madam President. There's certain vacancy issues down in the health department currently with Ms. Laprio currently on some sick leave. With Mr. Wilper going away on vacation, it's actually a good opportunity. We were able to identify that there was a gap in our service coverages. We reached out to the Borough of Netcon. We're able to, in short order, piece together a shared services agreement, and it's going to be able to cover us through the end of the year. And it's a reciprocal agreement, so we can help them as well if they're short-staffed. And with the possibility of some vacancies through retirements coming up, it's a good opportunity to make sure we have no shortfall of service to our residents while we identify suitable replacements.
Very good. Right now, we just have one registrar.
We
Or
have two.
two.
Both the health officer, Mr. Wolper, and Joanne LaCrae. But Joanne's out right now for a couple weeks. And again, Mr. Wolper's going to be going away this the first week of July, so we obviously have a gap in service. I reached out to Ralph Blakesley, he's my counterpart from NetCom. We get along very well, we do a lot of things together, and they were able to step up and provide us with a suitable registrar to cover our own needs.
When Carol was in that department, wasn't she also a registrar?
Yeah, but I believe that's lapsed right now.
Did she lapse? Okay.
Yeah, we're identifying for the fall. We're waiting for courses to be announced this fall, and I'm going to try to get at least 2 to 3 personnel within the building.
Oh, good.
Certified, so we always have a contingency and a backup.
You read my mind. That was exactly what I was going to ask, so we don't have that. Because also, I'll tell you, I remember in the past, a couple times when neighboring towns had their registrar on vacation or out on sick leave, whatever, there were some neighboring residents who actually came here, and Ms. LaPree was able to help them out. So it's kind of like good to have a little bit of backup in case of those situations.
Yeah, apparently logistically, the state registrar's office, according to Mr. Wolper, requires that we have a resolution authorizing a shared service agreement, even temporarily, which was kind of bureaucratic, I thought. But fortunately, we started having staff meetings with the health department every Monday. This came in through yesterday's staff meeting. It was good timing, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, I bugged Lisa and got the reso on at last second. But it was good timing that we had a council meeting tonight, and we could take some action.
It's always good to cross your Ts and dot your Is. Any other discussion on any of the resolutions this evening? Okay, seeing none, any discussion on the ordinance that we have on the workshop agenda? Seeing none? Any old business? Seeing none, any new business? Seeing none? I now open the meeting to the public portion. Anyone from the public care to make any announcements, or would you like to wait for the public meeting, which is going to come up in a couple minutes? It'll be on the record, or do you want to? Because the workshop is not verbatim, but the public meeting is. In a few minutes, we'll be on to the next meeting. I close the public portion, and now I would like to have a motion to adjourn to the public meeting, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Alrighty. We are now moving into our public meeting. Mrs. Lashway, would you please read the Open Public Meetings Act announcement?
According to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been given to the Daily Record. Notice has been posted in the Municipal Building, 204 Flinders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, and notices were sent to those requesting the same.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Frente?
Here.
Mr. Nacastro?
Here.
Mr. Perkins?
Here.
Mr. Roman? Mr. Stazak?
Here.
Mr. Mania? Mrs. Laybow?
Here. Let the record reflect once again that Mr. Mania and Mr. Roman are at the Mount Olive High School senior graduation this evening, as well as our mayor, Rob Greenbaum, is in attendance at the graduation. We already had our Pledge of Allegiance at our workshop. So first on our agenda, we have our resolutions. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Forgot to turn the page. Minutes for approval. Mr. Ferranti, would you please make a motion to approve the minutes from May 28, 2013 workshop and public meeting? Mr. Roman was absent. June 11, 2013 workshop, public meeting, and closed session, all were present. You can.
Sure. I move to approve the May 28th, 2013 workshop and public meeting minutes and the June 11th, 2013 workshop, public meeting, closed session minutes.
Second.
Any questions, concerns, comments? Seeing none? Roll call, please.
Mr. Frente?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Stazak?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes. We have 15 pieces of correspondence this evening. Would anyone like to bring up any discussion on any of our correspondence for tonight? Okay. Was there an increase in postage? 15, that's the smallest we've had in a long time.
And not one from the League of Municipalities.
Wow. Yeah, usually, just a note for the record, we usually have 40 or 50. I was like, is there a page missing? Alrighty, so seeing none, we're moving on to ordinance for public hearing. And we have our first one is, yes. The first one, ordinance number 16-2013, we're going to continue to the next meeting. Mr. Samro, do we need to open it and then?
You know what, I think since you advertised for the public hearing, we ought to just open it, but then with the understanding there's going to be a motion then to table.
To table,
Have
to
to.
continue,
Continue.
to continue.
Public hearing.
Continue the public hearing. Okay. Ordinance, right, we're going to have the public hearing. Ordinance, I open the hearing to the public on ordinance number 16-2013, entitled, "An Ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Mount Olive in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 400, Land Use, Article 5, Design Guidelines and Technical Standards, Section 75, Tree Removal, Replanting, and Forestry Management Plans." Mr. Stazak, would you please move that ordinance for us?
Move for adoption, final passage of ordinance.
No.
Oh.
Or no, table it. I'm sorry.
No, you're going to move to continue the public hearing to the July 9th meeting.
Okay, I make a motion, we continue the ordinance to the July 9th public meeting.
Second.
Just as a clarifying statement, there was some discussion at the planning board meeting on Thursday night. Mr. Mania, who was in attendance, is not here this evening to let us know what happened there. Mr. Mayor, who actually wanted to have this ordinance, is also not here. Mr. Canning wants,
Yeah, I don't know if it's appropriate at this time to comment on the mayor's position on this, or do you want to wait until the public hearing on the 9th?
I mean, technically, because there's a motion now to continue the matter, it probably would be best
yes.
to do that.
He presents things better than I do anyhow.
So we're going to continue it so we can have everybody present for the discussion on this. Roll call, please.
Mr. Frente?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Stazak?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes. I don't need to read anything more because we're just gonna, okay. Next on our agenda, I open the hearing to the public on ordinance number 17-2013, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Mount Olive, amending crossing guard salaries for the year 2013 as previously amended in ordinance number 20-2012 of the Township of Mount Olive entitled Salaries of Certain Non-Union Personnel. Mr. Perkins, would you please move that?
Yes, Madam President. I move, oops, sorry, wrong side. I move that ordinance number 17-2013 for adoption and final passage.
Thank you. Anybody from the public have any concerns?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, second. Moving along too fast. You guys have to be fast. You know what it is? John's not here
Yeah, that's the
tonight.
problem.
So you guys aren't,
that's
you know,
like-
trying to beat him out there. Our little friendly competition, see who can be first, and our number one first guy's not here. So anybody from the public have any comments or concerns regarding this ordinance? Seeing none, council, any? Mr. Perkins?
Thank you, Madam President. Just briefly on the graduate health nurse, I'm sure the council is already aware of the circumstances surrounding that position. We are now creating that. We have coverage, I believe, correct me, Sean, from Wharton,
Yes, Warden's just up.
at no
Mr.
cost.
Perkins, this is only for the cross guards, crossing guards, this one.
This isn't the salary ordinance?
It's for crossing.
But it's only for the crossing guards right now. This is the ordinance for just the crossing guards that the chief brought to us a couple weeks ago.
Number 17.
Number 17-2013.
I think the nurse is number 19.
Is
Yeah,
this, oh,
the
this
nurse.
is 19? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
19.
There's no number on it, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Then I have no comment on that.
Okay.
Crossing guards are fine.
Any other comments? See none. Roll call, please.
Mr. Frente?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Stazak?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes. Actually, Mr. Perkins was just trying to see if we were all on our toes. It was a test, right, Mr. Perkins?
No.
No.
It's my- it's
Yeah, I'm
my-
trying to cover for you here.
No, that's all right, Madam President. I see crossing guards are, on the ordinance, so
Yeah.
we do have a salary for them, so of course I'm just commenting on
No, it
something
makes
else that's
sense,
in
yeah.
there.
Okay, I declare that ordinance number 17-2013 is passed on second reading, and I hereby direct the clerk to forward a copy of the same to the mayor and publish the notice of adoption as required by law. Next on the agenda is ordinance number 18-2013, and I open the hearing to the public on ordinance number 18-2013, an ordinance of the Township of Mount Olive in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, providing for a street name change from Winding Hill Drive East to Winding Hill Drive West to Winding Hill Drive. Mr. Franti, would you please move that?
Sure, I move to approve ordinance number 18-2013.
Thank you. Anybody from the public have any concerns? Seeing none?
Second.
Thank
Didn't we
you.
need a second?
Yeah, where's the second? Thank you. We have a second. Nobody from the public has any comments? Anybody from council? I would just like to clarify that the, Mr. Samro's office requested this, and also so that if anybody who, the tax assessor requested that Mr. Samro's office draw this up, and just for their, as to best of my knowledge, everybody on that street's just Winding Hill. It's not east and west, so nobody has to change their checks or their return addresses or anything. It's just to make it consistent with our tax maps. Okay. So, alrighty. And the last part of this is ordinance number 18-2013 is passed on second reading, and I'm sorry. We're just moving. Maybe I had entirely too many pots of coffee today. Normally it's cups, but I think I'm on my 5th pot. Roll call, please.
Mr. Frente?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Stazak?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes. Ordinance number 18-2013 is passed on second reading, and I hereby direct the clerk to forward a copy of the same to the mayor and publish the notice of adoption as required by law. Alrighty. We are now on to ordinances for first reading. Second reading will be on July 9th, 2013. First one is ordinance number 19-2013, an ordinance of the Township Council of Township of Mount Olive, amending ordinance number 20-2012, entitled Salaries of Certain Non-Union Personnel, as previously amended by ordinance number 17-2013. Mr. Stazak, would you please move that?
Yes, thank you. I move that ordinance number 19-2013 be introduced by title and passed on first reading, and that a meeting be held on July 9th, 2013 at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, for a public hearing, consideration of second reading and passage of said ordinance, and that the clerk be directed to publish, post, and make available said ordinance in accordance with the requirements of law.
Second.
Second. Any council discussion, Mr. Perkins?
Thank you, Madam President. See if I can remember where I left off, Sean.
I'm ready.
That our public health nurse position is going to be overseen for the balance of 2013 graciously at no charge to the municipality from the public health nurse from the Township of Wharton. I'm sure the administration, along with Mr. Wilpert, will be looking at how we are going to fill that position for the year 2014, and whoever sits as the chair, as long as I'm still sitting this year as the chair for the board, we will entertain Mr. Wilpert's suggestions and then pass that on through to the council for final approval.
We don't necessarily have to replace that position. The current public nurse can get the credentials.
Yes, we have to have a public health nurse oversee the functions of any nursing within the municipality, and Wharton has graciously offered to provide that for us for no cost. Yes, we can with our current graduate health nurse, who has, I believe, 4 classes to attain that level. So it can be done by her. These are discussions we still have to have and establish a firm timetable. So there's options to the municipality, but our current nurse on staff does an outstanding job, so that would be our preferred outcome.
So we have a couple options to move forward with. Anything else?
Well, obviously, Madam President, I think, our preference is to have the nurse here in-house. All right, that's our first preference. We're giving our other shared services agreements where we are providing that service.
Right.
So I'm sure the administration is going to be putting a little fire for the last 4 classes to try to get those things done.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and if not, then we'll address it.
Right.
If we have to, we have to take it from outside, we'll take it.
Well, I think we're just a little bit on dangerous ground. We can't really discuss into too much depth, right? With the position itself.
We'll just talk about
Right,
responsibilities,
okay.
not performance, so.
Good, okay, I just want to make sure, I just want to clarify that for the record.
Always good.
Any other discussion? Anybody from the public? Seeing none? Roll call, please.
Mr. Frente?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Stazak?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes. Okay, moving right along, we have our consent resolutions, 1 through 7. Does it include
6.
them all? Okay, 1 through 6. Would anyone like to remove any of our consent resolutions to our non-consent agenda? All right, seeing none, Mr. Franti, would you please move resolutions 1 through 6?
Sure, I move consent resolutions 1 through 6.
Second.
Alrighty, any discussion? Mr. Perkins?
Thank you, Madam President. Just brief clarification to the administration. Sean, when you hear back from the DOT referencing 46, if you can get a meeting set up, I would like to be in attendance for that.
Yeah, I would anticipate, in the past, that they seem to respond by writing, usually within 2 to 3 weeks. I'm hoping at that point they're open to some type of meeting or talk somehow. It's a difficult bureaucracy to deal with, but I anticipate them getting back.
Yeah, it's, I think all of us that are driving Route 46 are witnessing some people making left-hand turns in areas that I shudder. And, I think that there are some areas there that possibly have to maintain and stay a left-hand turn, but I think there's areas that we could better be protecting our public by asking the state. And I think from clarification, doesn't the planning board, I know the state is the permits for the driveways, you know, where you're gonna have an access driveway, like into a gas station. But as far as putting those no left-hand turn arrows out there, that doesn't have anything to do with the state.
Yes, that,
Or-
actually, yes, it does, the state, and I do, Mr. Dazak will confirm that. I remember when I was on the planning board, you can't just, well, any business owner can put the sign up there, but it's not enforceable, and somebody makes a left-hand turn, the police have nothing. That comes only from the state because it's entering a state highway. So we have no
So then it
control.
becomes enforceable.
If the state approves
If the
it.
state
If the
approves
state
it,
approves
it's
it, right?
enforceable.
Okay.
That's like on a municipal road, if the homeowner puts a sign up in front of the house.
Yeah, it doesn't
It's
mean
not
anything.
enforceable unless we approve it, because it's our road.
Same thing on any of our roads. If we decide to put a stop sign up, but we don't codify it in the ordinance, somebody runs that stop sign, they don't get a ticket. So the first thing, if somebody gets a ticket for running a stop sign, Mr. Cannon will probably confirm this, that they check the ordinance, and that's not a street or a corner intersection that's listed. That ticket's, that's it. It's not enforceable. Oh yeah, Mr. Stazak, you could also confirm that.
Mhm.
So-
Why'd you run a stop sign?
No, he used to be a police officer, so.
Well, thank you, Sean. Again, once we get a meeting or set up, let me know.
Absolutely, I have in my notes.
I appreciate it, Sean. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. I have one question on that also. Did you notify all the businesses along Route 46?
No, I did not.
But when we get word from the state, then we'll let them know that,
Yeah, it might be in order to have some sort of a public hearing, advertised public hearing at that point, direct mailing. There's a lot of people to notify, but we could
yeah.
make the appropriate notifications.
I think it's a great idea. I'm very happy about it. Thank you.
I'm not optimistic that the state will be receptive to us, but, you know, it's worth the effort.
You know, they have, I think, Madam President, as we stated at the last meeting, you know, if you think of the times that we've been out there and the different, you know, legislators that have sat here, you know, prior to us, that have petitioned the state and met with them on the Connolly issue, you know, to try to get a traffic light, and the frustration that we have been faced with over the many years, ever since that development went in. You know, the county graciously enough came on with a wonderful plan to have an access road that goes around the back of the stores.
Yep.
Of course, that would be a municipal expense, so that wasn't like the best thing we heard. And like I said, I drive down through Pennington and other areas, and it's no left-hand turn for the next 2 miles. Well, probably there should be areas, and there's, you know, there's traffic lights there that control U-turns.
Yeah.
You know, that should be more than easy.
There's-
I'll never forget Scott Van Ness, and this is a little off track, Madam President, but it's on key. At the Village Green, now that we have that intersection finally redone, and
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody on the police department that will argue, there's been a lot less traffic accidents that have been up there
And
since
since
that's
we
been
live so
done.
close, we can actually testify
We
to
can
that.
hear them.
We can hear them, and we, yeah.
Ironically enough, going back into, I think it was 2004 or 5, Scott Van Ness and Sergeant Van Ness were sending back emails, and we had the sketch of exactly what we had wanted to do. So it only took the DOT 7 more years to finally get that done, and we had complained about it. So I'm not looking at anything happening fast, but I think that they owe us some sort of an investigation. And I think getting with now freeholder Scapicchio, who was a mayor and a councilman here, and planning board and zoning board. He can attest to some of the issues that have been there, and we will get our legislators involved, and even outside the district. It's an area where people that are outside our district travel through, and they are put at grave jeopardy every time they make turns on that highway. It's,
One thing, and this is not exactly on point, but it's along how the state operates. I'm not really quite sure where they pick and choose, but if anybody's been on Route 10 and going through Succasunna, now one of the things with Connolly, they said they couldn't have a traffic light that close together. While I was going down Route 10 the other day, what do I see but a traffic light going in at Commerce, the very first intersection after you pass what used to be the Ledgewood Circle.
Yep.
And I'm like, they're going to have a traffic light there? Why would they put a traffic light there to stop people? The stop sign does. Today I go by, I see where they opened up the median, so obviously they're putting a traffic light there. It's only a few yards down, you have that other traffic light, you have one right behind you. So they're literally going to be about 300, 400 yards apart. They're having the traffic lights, and here we have a critical situation on Connolly, we can't get a traffic light. Now I understand that the analysis, they said that if there was a traffic light, because of the topography of the street, there'd be more rear-end accidents type of a thing, but I don't really subscribe to that explanation.
no, when we appropriate $100,000 for an access road, you know,
Yeah.
again, the municipality has to bear the burden and the brunt of the costs to correct something that the DOT could very easily come out and take care of.
Yeah, sometimes I just don't understand the rhyme or reason behind anything. But I think we're up to, any other discussion on any other resolutions?
That was my brief clarifying statement, I
Yeah,
guess.
very brief clarifying statement. Anybody from the public have any comments, concerns? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Ferrante?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Stazak?
Yes.
Mrs. Labow?
Yes. All righty. Next on our agenda is consent motions. Mr. Perkins, would you please move our bill list?
Yes, Madam President, I move for approval of the bill list.
Thank you. Any questions, concerns, comments? In a second?
Second.
Second.
It was telepathic. Second came. I saw it. It was written all over his face. Anybody from the audience, from the public, have any comments or concerns with the bill list?
That'd be the
Seeing none? Nobody from council? Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Ferrante?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
I abstain from check number 63444, and the rest, yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Stazak?
Yes.
Mrs. Labow?
Yes. Administrative reports. Mr. Canning?
Buckle up, we have a lot. On behalf of the mayor, we want to congratulate the high school graduates for the class of 2013. He is at graduation now, along with several of the council people. The mud run this past week was a huge success, probably bigger success than Recreation had anticipated. There were fortunately no injuries and no complaints, and everybody seemed to really have a good time. We're looking forward to increasing the attendance next year. And I know Frank Wilper Jr. and Jill Dagan and all their staff did a wonderful job. There was a lot of work involved in it, and they're taking a look at how they can do things better next year, but they expect it to grow. And Rob's still looking for a shoe.
Yes, I heard that. I sent him a text message right after I heard that he lost his shoe, and I told him I heard there was a sale over at Famous Footwear, and if you wanted to run over there.
This week, actually tomorrow night, Mayor Greenbaum's being awarded, as well as two other people from the community by the Mount Olive Chamber of Commerce. The mayor's being awarded the 2013 Community Service Award, and two other local business people. The 2013 Business Person of the Year is Ms. Janin Ardia. She's Executive VP, broker with Remax Heritage Properties, and the 2013 Humanitarian of the Year is Mr. Ray Miller. He's a partner for You're on the Go CFO. So it's a very worthwhile organization, the Chamber of Commerce, and those awards will be given out tomorrow night. Administration has been able to secure the pavers. That'll be around the digital sign. That's going to be a donation from a local business. Boards and Batten is the company, so we're looking forward to finishing the digital sign out front. Once the pavers are in, we'll be able to plant some nice flowers and finish up the sign out front. The tot lot committees are forming. The tot lot, as we'll recall, the RFP went out for competitive contract for a design consultant. Lisa's already, should be no surprise to everybody, it's already moved and shaken. Got a lot of committees for volunteer work, and a lot of groups already looking forward to to coming forward and pitching in if we get to the point where we're going to do a community build on the top lot. July 3rd, the Center Court of Mount Olive is having a huge birthday bash. Information is online. Food, DJ, special guest rates. I don't know what July 3rd is, but it's somebody's big birthday.
Yes.
I believe it's wrong. I'm not sure.
Yes, the mayor's 51st. I think we all should sign him up anonymously for AARP. He's been resisting.
I think you'd like that. Carnival Week is coming up, July 10th to the 14th. It's going to be a little bit bigger and better than last year. One of the things we're really looking forward to is we've arranged to have the auto refuse sample truck coming up on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'll be there at least 1 or 2 nights, as well as Jimmy Lynch and some others to volunteer. We're going to have information handed out to the public. We'll have some of the sample garbage cans there. We'll be able to run demonstrations on the joystick and how easy it is to pick up the auto refuse. So it's a good opportunity to start getting the public acclimated. We're anticipating switching over to auto refuse sometime later this fall, between October and January. So we're looking forward to that. Givaudan Trails is the Braille Trail up on the Morris Canal. We met today with DEP and very happy to finally announce that they worked well with us. It took a couple months longer than we anticipated, but we've gotten preliminary go to start our project up there. Givaudan, if you're not familiar with this, is sponsored to the tune of about $45,000 Braille Trail along the Morris Canal from Plain Street and Stanhope right on down to Continental Drive. It's phase 1. Eventually, it's going to be a couple mile long packed cinder trail that'll hook up with the Sussex branch down across at the end of Continental Drive there. So we're looking to probably break ground maybe within the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Sean, is that the section of the canal that still has the water and the towpath?
Yeah,
Oh,
I was up
yes.
there today,
That's
and then,
gorgeous, isn't
I had
it?
to flick a couple ticks off because it's not quite maintained yet.
Yeah.
But, it's when it's done, it's a nice mile-long trail right along. The canal's preserved. There's still an old watchtower house there, so we'll be able to put the bollards in with the ropes and the guide rails, and probably have the path compacted and ready to go. We're hoping by mid-September. And Givaudan's been a big partner in this. From what I hear, they have about 100 volunteers already signed up. So we just have to organize that effort. We're looking probably about late July that we can break ground.
Excellent.
Last but not least, Frank Nelson, who's been doing a wonderful job as our ACO, finished his animal cruelty investigator course. He's now a certified animal cruelty investigator, so we don't have to outsource that to service we
Excellent.
have in-house. And he's been a tremendous hire for the township. We're very, very proud of the process and the job he's doing.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you.
Oh, one last thing, the audit, can I announce? Once again, Sherry doesn't like to pat herself on the back, but it's the reason why she's one of the best CFOs in North Jersey. The audit came back, no comments again. How many years straight now is this?
I don't know.
So come on, you know.
I don't.
It's over a decade, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've again, from my previous experience in other communities, I've never seen an audit come back with no comments, and it's just a par for the course for Sherry, and it's a great job, and
Excellent.
she's an asset to Mount Olive. So.
Excellent job. Thank you, Sharon.
Thanks.
Any questions for the administration? Seeing none. Next on our agenda is old business. Any old business? Any new business? I would just backtrack to old business. I also want to thank the administration and our entire staff for the Raiders of the Lost Park event this Saturday. It was tremendous. For the past 3 days, I'm still hearing from people what a great time it was. It was just absolutely phenomenal. So looking forward to the next great event, the carnival. Yay! New business, seeing none. Legal matters, Mr. Samra?
The only thing that we would report is, with respect to Cobblestone, we continue to look at the ability to develop that land for the affordable housing. We now have a proposal from Boswell Engineering. We had to search pretty long and hard to find a firm to come and look at some additional infrastructure issues. It's suitable to the developer as far as the firm and what they're going to do. So we'll have the last proposal and professional services agreement for you at the next meeting. That'll really address issues such as water and other infrastructure for the site. And over the last 2 weeks, Jeff and myself represented the township at the county tax board. As you know, there's still a number of appeals that were filed this year, but I think we can say it's getting better, as far as the cases we're able to defend, and you could see there's finally a change or a turnaround in the market, and the reassessments that you went through, I think they're going to start to pay off now, and it's all about fairness, and that's the way the cases were presented. So I do have a matter for executive session for this evening as listed, and that's my report. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Any questions, concerns for our attorney? Seeing none, we are on to council reports. Mr. Franti, would you please give us your reports?
Sure. The Lake Association, we saw today that we passed a resolution for the weed treatment on the lake. Drove by the beach the other day, and there seemed to be a good crowd there. Nice hot weather, so it's nice to see there was a lot of residents out. And for the library, now that school is over, keep an eye out in the library calendar. They're doing several events throughout the summer for everyone of all ages. That's it.
Actually, one thing we forgot to mention, Mr. Canning, was the beach opening day, the big barbecue, because that was like 2 weeks ago already, but that was another fantastic event. Very well attended. Everybody had a great time, and I actually went over and sat around and relaxed for a couple hours. It was really cool. It's like so rare to just kick back and relax, and it was a lot of fun, but we do need more sand. So if anybody knows anybody who happens to have a couple of tons of white sand that they're not using, even 1 ton, we'll take it.
Empty out your sink.
I have no shame. I'll ask for donations. Mr. Maney is not here right now. However, I will just say we do have the senior citizen picnic is coming up.
17th now coming
The
up.
17th. So that's always a great event. No, it's the 18th.
17th. I thought it was the 17th.
It is the 17th.
Is the 17th? Okay.
Yeah, I just wrote it on the calendar.
I'll double check my calendar. I thought it was the 18th. But anyway, it's coming up, so that's always a fun event and something we all look forward to. We're going to be having our bocce,
18th.
the 18th. I thought it's a
It's the
Thursday.
18th. I wrote it on my calendar.
Did you have it at 18th?
Yeah.
You had it?
Yeah, I came into this.
Yeah, I was going to check mine too, because it's a Thursday. It's a Thursday, right, Joe?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a Thursday, because I remember I'm with you. That's it.
Okay, so with that'll be, we have to have our bocce ball tournament with the seniors. Maybe our attorneys can come and play this year too. That'll be fun. It was fun. We had a great time.
Okay.
We had a lot of fun. Absolutely, we had a lot of fun. We laughed and they beat us, and
We can have Lisa on our team?
yeah, Lisa will be there. Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yep, we'll have a great time. It really is a lot of fun. So we have, and the seniors, they had matching T-shirts and everything. They were serious, They were down to business, but we had fun. Next one was, let me see, we have Mr. Nicastro.
There was a cleanup this Sunday, I know, over at the trails, one of the trails over at Turkey Brook, but I was not there for that. But I understand that went well, and there was no meeting yet for the safety committee, so I have nothing else to report.
Okay, and we have Mr. Perkins.
Thank you, Madam President. This month's Board of Health meeting was canceled. Could not get a quorum together. We've already discussed the coverage for the nurse, so we don't need to reiterate that. Economic Development Committee, I have nothing to report. The Legislative Committee, Madam President, I'll go onto the record now just to update, and while our attorney is here and we're talking about cobblestone, effective June 7th, the Board of Public Utilities has graciously or finally come to the realization that the smart growth requirement in the state of New Jersey is a hindrance, and that any building that goes on outside of the quote-unquote smart growth area, which was started by past Governor McGreevey, will be able to share in the program incentives under the Clean Energy Program. Which means that I know Homeless Solutions, who is the entity that we are trying to get Cobblestone developed by, builds 2 Energy Star, and they will now be able to share in the incentives, as well as when they've built in Morristown or other areas where they could. That was a stumbling block. So if you can, in any talks that you and Mr. Canning or the mayor may have with Homeless Solutions, would be to let them know, and that order was retroactive back to June 7th. So now there is no more state smart growth requirement for clean energy.
Thank you.
And that was it, Madam President.
Thank you. Speaking of clean energy and energy efficiencies, I wish that they would get to a point when they're doing appraisals for homes, that they start to actually attach a value to homes that are energy efficient, you know? Would be, you know,
Well,
because
it's
you.
always based, though, on what really the sale price is.
Yeah,
It's very hard to
exactly.
distinguish.
It is really hard. There are some,
Well, there's green realtors, aren't there? Is there like a certification green realtor?
yeah, they do, but they don't really, usually the only way to increase your value of an existing structure is by like bathrooms or square footage. But if you make your home energy efficient, for instance, I was at a home yesterday doing evaluation, and they had solar panels put on, but it was only for their hot water, and they save almost $1,000 a year in their oil bill because they did that. And that, you would think that would attach a value to it, but we don't have a mechanism for that right now. So hopefully at some point we will, because you'll have more people who will want to, you know, start retrofitting their homes to make them more energy efficient if you're going to get a little bit more value out of it.
Madam President, it always runs back to the bank.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you could get banks to look at green, energy-efficient mortgages, you know, where they've all kicked around. I mean, everybody from TD Bank through Valley, you name it, they've all, the PNC, they've talked about it, but nobody ever ponies up.
Yep.
And if you have a house that is Energy Star certified or LEED certified, where you know it's an energy-efficient home, it already has more value because
Yeah.
it was built better. And you would think that they'd be able to, and, you know, realtors just need to be educated to know that those are out there.
Yeah.
And that's the plug, and I'd like for you someday to become a green realtor, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't taken the certification
You
classes
should.
for that just yet, but I do read up on all the information. As soon as I have a little bit more time, there was a couple times I was getting ready to sign up for it, but I just couldn't clear my schedule for the time the class was. But it is extremely interesting, and I do find it really fascinating. And because of the information I do look into when I go to a client's house or whatever, and they start talking about it's funny, just because you have solar panels doesn't mean it's always there's all different ways to use a solar panel. So it's very interesting, and I think we should kind of try to move more in that direction as homeowners to cut down costs all the way around. We'll see, but a lot of times yep.
It all comes back to
right
this.
back to the group, yep.
Well, again, and now the interesting thing is with clean energy, with the non-smart growth areas, which were penalized, they're no longer going to be penalized. So a lot of the programs and incentives and grants that were available outside of Mount Olive, we can now take advantage of. So since we're already paying societal benefits fees, I always say take advantage of it. Same thing we had our business administrator do with the AC units and all here. We got the grants. It's costing us a small pittance to get over 75% back. The energy audits cost us nothing. All the other community development block grants and all that we had done that helped out the ambulance squads as well as the fire station in here.
Yep.
We're paying for it anyway. We might as well get something back.
Exactly. Next, we have Mr. Stazak. Well, Mr. Roman's not here this evening. We have Mr. Stazak.
MOTV will be meeting July 8th, and other than that, I have nothing to report.
Okay, and, Mr. Perkins?
I know, I'm sorry I'm taking so much time today. Everybody wants to go home, I know. Mr. Stazak, the banners that go across on Mount Olive Television, who controls putting them on and taking them off?
The Board of Ed, they control the access to that.
All right, because we're still advertising events that took place in April.
So is the high school banner. I'll take
Yeah,
care of that.
yeah.
I'll speak to them.
You know, the Hot Wheels thing, I mean, that's all still coming
All gone,
across, and we
yeah.
really got to get that off there.
Yeah, if you look at their entrance to the high school, they're back in May too, so, you know, they move right along with that. But I will speak to Andy Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. David. That's it, Madam President. Now I'm done.
Mount Olive TNR, we're going to be having our huge yard sale fundraiser, our spring fundraiser. We have it twice a year over at the After, at the lower end of their parking lot. We are hoping that we don't have rain on Friday and Saturday. They're calling for intermittent showers, and I think we should just go for it anyway because most of the stuff is in my garage, and I want to clean out my garage. Umbrellas, we'll just have umbrellas. And but it's really it's a very interesting having the yard sale because we have so many people stop by and just end up helping so many people, and the people come and they make, even if they don't buy anything, they make the donations. We have the scouts helping out, and so it's a fun time. So I do very much look forward to it. So if you're around or you have any donations, please stop by. We're glad to take them, glad to see you. And especially if you're around Saturday afternoon when it's time to pack up.
What time is that?
We start setting up Friday morning at 7 a.m. We probably close up around 6 or 7, and we open up again, setting up Saturday morning, and close up around 4 or 5, that type of thing. So anybody who's free, come on over. And next we have our public portion, and we have 2 nice young ladies here patiently waiting for us. You can come up to the podium. Yes, please, and state your name and address for the record. Oh, thank you.
Hi, good evening. I'm Blair Schleicher Bravo, the Executive Director of Mars Habitat for Humanity, and with me is Liz DeCourcy, who is our Director of Operations. And we're here to say thank you. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but if you're on your Facebook page, I know Mayor Greenbaum was, he posted our video of a time-lapse video where we built a house in 19 hours right here in Mount Olive. So that's something you can be proud of.
Yeah.
We want to say thank you for all of your support because it took a community to build a house in 19 hours. We built this house up on Lozier Road, where we are getting ready in the next month to close with the Fallon family. This house will be affordable housing for home ownership for the Fallon family. So there'll be a new resident of Mount Olive. So we're very, very pleased. And again, we want to say thank you. We had 400 volunteers. There was a lot of planning. We ate in all your restaurants. In fact, a lot of local businesses supported the project. People came up and volunteered. Liz has a list of specific people to say thank you to, because it really took an entire community to build this project. And as an aside, I want to say that we are closing on the Hattacawanna property, which is all done, and hopefully this week it'll be closed, so you'll have another new Habitat homeowner here in Mount Olive. So Liz is going to specifically say thank you to the many people who helped with the project.
Thank you, Blair.
Thank you.
Hi, we would like to thank very much the council and mayor for supporting the resolution that waived the noise ordinance to allow us to continue construction over the course of the weekend. Of course, to Sean Canning for overall support and municipal assistance to coordinate the project to allow it to happen. The superintendent of schools, Larry Reynolds, allowed us to use the Sand Shore Elementary School parking lot, which ended up being key to keeping cars and traffic off of Lozier Road, which is very narrow. The Mount Olive Police Department, the police chief, and the individual officers, they provided traffic control over the weekend. The building, electrical, and plumbing inspectors who worked over the weekend on call to allow us to continue the building so that we could meet our very aggressive building schedule. Amy Ingracia of the Lake First Aid Squad, she provided the rig for the event over the entire weekend. Thankfully, we did not need it. Frank Wilpert Sr. and the health department staff, they loaned us the senior bus and arranged for the transportation, and we used that bus as a shuttle to shuttle the 400 volunteers back and forth to the site from the school parking lot, and that was a huge success. That really allowed us to get people back and forth without interrupting too much traffic on the roadways between the two sites. Patricia Ackerson, she is the senior transportation driver, and she gave up her weekend to shuttle everyone, and she was a real joy to work with. And last but not least, Catherine Natafalusi. I've been working with her for over 3 years to make this project a reality, and it's been a long road. We had many different types of approvals with DEP Highlands and through the zoning board, and I really owe her a great deal of thanks for allowing this project to move forward. So thank you all.
Thank you.
We're presenting a plaque to the mayor and council, so hopefully you'll be able to look upon it as a great thanks from Mars Habitat for providing this opportunity for us to build safe, decent, affordable home ownership right here in Mount Olive. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. we passed the plaque down to, and I'll give it to Mr. Canning, if you could find where you think's the best spot for us to showcase it. Would really appreciate that. Thank you very much, and when you're ready to build another home, please let us know.
Yes,
I'm
we
sure
are.
we'll
We're
be
ready.
on board. And I have to tell you, I do like the idea when you have the Blitz, because it brings a lot of excitement and a lot of attention to it. Mhm.
Yes, it did. We had parents actually coming up on the shuttle. We have an age limit, because the kids.
Oh, it's not, you have to just go to
Oh,
this
sorry.
mic. Yeah, that's great. We have to pick it up.
We have an age limit for volunteers on the site, so there are some parents who actually brought their kids to the school, shuttled them up, we allowed them to come on and watch the activity. So it was a nice opportunity for us to be able to talk about what we're doing and why and so forth, and they got to be a part of the, the activities.
It is, it's very exciting. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's great. So, but I'm serious, I think everybody agrees. We want another build, please. Keep us in mind.
Wallman Way, we're there.
You're there, you're getting on the Wallman Way? Great.
Yes, yes.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Well, Blair, now you can get the incentive money.
Yeah.
Yes. Those two houses are Energy Star certified.
Yes.
When you get a chance, would you send us a copy of the certifications? Have Doug send them in?
I will.
All right.
In fact, we also were kind of whispering, ooh, maybe we can take
Yeah.
advantage
But
of that.
well, your next one, unfortunately, they won't retro.
Okay.
They won't go back on this one. But for any of your other homes, all of them that you're doing,
Super.
since that's waived now, so at least you guys can now get some money back.
Yeah.
$1,500, $2,500, that's
It's
not bad.
significant.
It helps.
It does, every little bit helps.
The other thing I thought was really great, one of the neighbors was very concerned about where his property is located, and your staff was so wonderful to them and talked them through it and invited them to come look at the plans, and you reassured them, and I thought that was fantastic. And
Yeah.
are they happy now that everything is
Yes, I
done?
think they're happy. I mean, it's a change. I
Yeah.
mean, you're taking woods, turning it into a house. But many of the neighbors came out and helped us build,
Yeah.
which was really nice. And we
That's really
actually
nice.
fed the neighbor. We invited them all over to
Yeah.
feed them and
Oh,
so forth.
that did it.
Food is always a great thing.
I'm half Italian,
Yeah, what are you gonna- Well, thank you both for coming all the way up here and waiting for you understand why this is more appropriate this way, it's on the
Better than
record.
CSI.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks.
Good to see you again. Take care. Bye-bye now. All righty. We are on to, public. Anybody else from the Mr. McDonald, come up, please. State your name and address for the record.
Ned McDonald, Bud Lake. This is a question to Mr. Canning. Just wonder what the status of the drainage improvement in front of 81 Waterloo is.
Sure. We have 5 identified projects. That's the Community Development Block Grant. There have been, out of the 5, 2 are completed, and the timetable with Mr. Quinn is the remaining 3, including the location you're referencing. We're anticipating by September. Now, our grant funding runs through December of this year. Timmy's been still catching up with the rest of the impacts of Hurricane Sandy. But I do know that he anticipates this summer, I don't know if it's going to be that location or one of the other 3, attacking one of them in July. And my last conference with him, it looked like September. He's anticipating the remaining 3 will be done.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. You know what? We had it not been for that hurricane last year and all the chipping and all the catch up, we were anticipating this would have been done last winter. So it's unfortunate we're still set back.
Thanks.
Thank you. Sir, did you have something you wanted to? Are you here for a specific matter this evening, or are you here for a specific matter this evening?
I come to speak about something, yeah.
Okay, if you'd like to stand up and state your name and address for the record, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And my name is Charlie Bell. I live at 95 Waterloo Valley Road. It's, I've been at the location now since my brother passed away for 7 years. It's going on 8. It's been in the family now since 1890, the place. So this is the 4th generation that has it. I want to pass it on to my kid. The concern I have is the road. The people here in Bud Lake don't seem to be worried about any of the taxpayers down my way. Because I'm the only one who lives on that road. And I speak to the road department, Timmy, all the time. And he comes down, and all he does is put down dirt. And where I live, it's a hill. It goes like this. And all he does is put down packed dirt. And then every time it rains or we get a storm, just washes right away and makes ditches in the middle of the road, which is there now. And I keep telling them to come down and grade the road, or the road, instead of coming like this, it go like that. The road will wash it down the side, but it runs down the middle. Now, he says he can't pave it because you people ain't got the money to afford the blacktop. But I see other places in town here that has good fresh blacktop put down. And I just seem like I'm abandoned down here on the road department.
Let me ask Mr. Canning. Do you have Mr. Canning, our business administrator, may have an update for that?
It's a difficult situation. I see, I just pulled up Fireworks. I saw that, I guess June 20th, you had contacted Timmy Quinn, because I see Timmy was out there on June 20th evaluating. It's a long road. It's not inexpensive. Again, I could check with Timmy about patch instead of dirt. I highly doubt we're going to be able to afford a fresh layer of pavement for that entire road, the length of that. It's not that it's not that we wouldn't want to, but the amount of roadways in town, there's a lot of them that are in bad shape. And it's true, we don't have the resources to lay down a fresh coat of asphalt. I could check with Mr. Quinn to see if something could be done about something grading or even cold patch to pack it down a little bit better to make it a little bit more habitable. It is a difficult road. I know that about. I've been down there several times.
Yeah, ride down again and see what it looks like.
It's an understatement saying it's a difficult road.
Yeah.
But I can meet with Timmy in the morning and find out if
So-
there's anything we can do. Again, a fresh paving job, we can't even pave ITC South
Right.
now because of the lack of municipal aid, but we can see if we can at least make it somewhat passable.
Possibly, I don't know what kind of projects in neighboring towns, if they're doing some milling, if they're, sometimes they need to find a place to recycle the milling, if we could even
That's what Timmy did.
Oh, millings? He got road
He took
millings?
down the old milling from
Oh.
the roads, but
It's still washed out?
It's still
Because you have to,
washed out.
you have to crown that. You can't just lay it flat. They got to crown it.
We
And
have rollers. We'd have to divert some crews for a day or two to come down and pack it. But it's not insurmountable
It's-
problem. We could.
it's just not an easy, probably if you did it in sections, by the time you do one section, it storms, you go back and the section you did's already washed
No,
out.
it's not that. He's down to 6 to 8 guys right now in summertime, and it's.
yeah, that's what he keeps saying. He ain't got the manpower.
And he doesn't. Yeah, he's like the boy holding the finger in the dike right now. So it's a tough time for him. But we'll get on it. We'll check it out and try to get at least some type of fix for you.
And
Okay.
Mr. Bell, please don't think that we don't care, because we do care. It's just, it's very difficult trying to, get to everything, and, but you are on their quote-unquote radar. They do understand that it's an issue, and we certainly want you to be able to get to your home and leave your home. We don't want you to be stranded there, and if,
Yeah.
On the plus side, it is an iWorks system. It says an open call right now. We run an internal system called iWorks, and if it's a call, and he has a lot of them that are open right now, but yours is classified from what I see as open. It's on the radar. Sometimes it's a tomorrow fix, sometimes it's a 5-week from now fix.
Yeah,
It all depends, but so he has it classified as open. I see it's on the hit list.
yeah, what that means is that it's not like somebody's aware of it and it just, if they forget, this is a tracking system, so it's there. It's not.
Glad to see that he has it in there.
Yeah, it's not going to go away. Everyone's well aware of it, but I do thank you for coming and
Yeah.
letting us know.
The house was built in 1890, from my great-great-grandfather, and then my father had it, and then my brother had it, and now it's me, and I want to pass it on to my kids. So
There you go.
it's a very old house,
Yeah.
that age anyhow, and it's just, I'm the only one there for miles.
Yeah.
Nobody on my left, nobody on my right.
I know. It's nice and secluded, which is
Yeah,
a
it's
plus.
included, yes. Okay, that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you
Get
very
my
much,
point
Mr.
across.
Bell.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Have a nice evening. Thank you. All right. I now close the meeting to the public portion, and we are going to be going into executive, we'll go into council comments, and we'll go into executive session. So council comments first, Mr. Ferranti?
Nothing.
Mr.
Nothing.
Nacastro, Mr. Perkins?
I've said enough, thank you.
Thank you. You reached your quota?
I'm done.
Mr. Stazak?
Nothing tonight.
And I have no comments this evening. And Mr. Perkins, would you please move us into executive session? And we're going to have our executive session here in this room. We won't be taking, as Mr. Perkins will tell you, taking any formal action after the meeting, after the executive session. So, Mr. Perkins, please move us into executive session.
Yes, Madam President, in accordance with Section 7 and 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, I make a motion that we move into executive session to discuss personnel matters in Cone Film North, noting that the minutes will be available upon conclusion of those matters.
Thank you.
And Council President, if I just say for the record, it says Coomville North, and that's a former landfill site, and with all the discussion going on in the area about landfills, this has nothing to do with the landfill being resurrected or any way. It's about a solar lease agreement for the landfill, just for the record.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So we're going in. Yeah, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
David will be out shortly. Thank you. Okay, Mrs. Lashway is going to be closing our doors. Yes, would you please? Thank you. Mr. Kenny's going to turn off our camera. And we will be...
We're back.
Okay,
We're back.
we are back. We have finished our executive session, and we are now at the adjournment part. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is now concluded. Thank you very much, everyone.
I wanted to get to this.